Tere tulemast, lugupeetud härrad ja daamid, kallid sõbrad, kolleegid. Meie tänane raamatuesitlus on meil inglise keeles, meil on siin autorid on ingliskeelsed, külalisturgad on ingliskeelsed, nii et lähen siin inglise keelega üle. Hello, dear gentlemen, dear ladies and gentlemen, our good colleagues, friends, supporters. I'm very happy to welcome you here today on the presentation of the book Vihula Mõis, 800 Years of Estonian History. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Kjølby, and I am the member of the board of Vihula Mõis, as well the team member developing of the manor ever since it has been bought in 2007. And I also had the biggest pleasure and honor to be also the project manager of this book. Also have the help to make the journey. But now I would like to introduce the most important people today. It is Olita and Henrik Kjølby. They are the owners of Vihula Mõis. They are Latvian-Danish couple who have started their business already in the beginning of the 90s, establishing a tourism company via Hansa Holding and bringing here a lot of tourists, and to put this into context, all these tourists who have brought here money to Estonia. This money has been invested very nice in the hotels, and especially Vihula Mõis. But now I would like to ask you to introduce yourself with your own words. So the floor is yours.
Okay, I can start because if you're looking for us and you understand who is chief. I'm chief. I'm Olita. I'm from Latvia, but it's very historical because my father and mother meet each other in Estonia. My father has some job in Estonia a couple of years, and they meet each other, and then moved to Riga. And I born in Riga because my father, he's Latvian. Yeah. And for this reason, we have a lot of friends, and when I was a child, 25 years ago, we often coming to Estonia because like visitors, like looking our friend, everything. And I loved a lot Estonia. And who knows, after we married 30 years, after these 30 years, we come back in Estonia with our business, with property, and with our books written my assistant. That's Henrik.
And Henrik, what about you?
I just want to say first that Olita's father was actually speaking fluent Venezuelan.
Yeah.
And Olita told me a very funny story about how when she was a child, he was teaching her to learn how to count in Venezuelan. Yks, kaks, kol, lille, vis, but I think they never got further than to vis. And when I started to live in Riga, then Olita's father tried to speak to me in Estonian, because he somehow had heard that the Scandinavian people were speaking the same language. They didn't realize that the Finns are basically not Scandinavian people. They are Nordic people, but they are not Scandinavian people. And of course I didn't understand the way what she was telling it to me. But we talk often about Estonia. My relation with Estonia goes further back in time than my relation with this lady here. I came to Estonia first time in 86. And telling today and as it was in 86, it's like day and night. But I was still very surprised about the whole thing. I remember I was standing in front of the old town hall, and then I was looking at it, and then I thought, why it is something so amazing and so close to us that nobody has ever heard about it. Because at this time, not a lot of things have been in Estonia. So I decided when I came back from Estonia that I would do an effort and to bring Danish people to Estonia. So it was back in the perestroika period, and in the first week it was to make non-currency exchanges with the high schools and universities and different organizations in Estonia. And later, I think it was in '89, we signed a commercial agreement with what was at that time one of the first privately owned travel agencies in the Soviet Union. It was esmaesitlus. So we were working together with esmaesitlus. In 1995, and we established our own company here in Estonia, and then we started to bring not only Scandinavians and Danes to Estonia, but people from a lot of other countries, local countries, we will import people from the whole world again here to Estonia. And then what's called 2021, and then we started to the set, and then we decided to reinvest of the money we have taken in Estonia into the country itself, so we started the whole business. How we started with Vihula, I would like to read something from this book here. It was a day in August 2007 when we first laid eyes on Vihula Manor. The weather was not very nice. It was rather grey and foggy, and to put it mildly, the large ensemble of run-down buildings certainly did not have their finest hour. But what immediately attracted us to the place was the variety of historical buildings and the beautiful and scenic arrangement of the buildings in picture-perfect balance with each other and with the surrounding nature. We closed our eyes for a while, and we tried to imagine how this place would look in the future on a blessed, warm summer's day. And when we opened our eyes again, we knew that we would accept the challenge of giving this beautiful but rather God-forsaken place a bright and glorious future. We took over Vihula Manor in the beginning of 2008. Within 3 months, we had managed to get 4 buildings completely renovated, and on June 1st, 2008, Vihula Manor was reborn as Vihula Manor Country Club and Spa by Unique Hotels, with 18 decent rooms and suites, a modern conference hall, and an unpretentious countryside restaurant.
Thank you. So, Henrik, Olita, why are you doing this in Estonia? And why not in Denmark or in Latvia? Why Estonia?
I think we're doing it in the Baltics because we could better integrate it into the business. I mean, we have been very active in receiving foreign tourists here, so we actually also a good client of ourselves, so to speak. The reason why we did it in Estonia, not for instance in Latvia, was when we started in 2001, the Estonian economy was already quite advanced. It was very open here, it was very transparent. When we talked with people, yes was yes, no was no. The legal system was working, and we of course also knew, because Estonia is very close to Finland, to Helsinki, and then the Estonian hotels, the worst that they was the last day, doing much more better than the hotels in Riga or in Viru. So it was a very natural place to start this year.
Okay, thank you. So, about the renovation and development of the manor, what is the general idea behind the whole renovation? What did you want to make out of it?
Most people think that the main reason was to create a hotel or a hospitality facility, but we were actually interested in something else. We were very interested in the whole history of the place, but then also I think what was very important for us is the development of cultural heritage into new, sustainable and responsible businesses. I was talking with an Estonian journalist today. He told me that historically there were 1,200 manors in Estonia. From these 1,200 manors, around 300 or 400 of them have survived the centuries. So there is 300 or 400 manors in Estonia which are still existing. I think the Estonian state are doing quite a decent job in upholding many of these matters, like museums, like institutes, like schools, like venues for weddings and other things. But the fact is that the state is simply does not have the funds to uphold all these 300-400 matters. So it is quite important. There are some private investors who go in and then turn these matters into some responsible and sustainable business. This is the only way. I mean, these what's called these old properties can be preserved. If we have not bought Vihula in 2007, I'm sure that somebody else would have bought it. Probably done more or less the same as we have done. But there are other winners. I mean, I have difficulties to find owners, and it's sometimes, it's my heart is bleeding when I'm seeing these houses, which were very, very beautiful, some in the past, and today looking like ruins. I mean, just the same way as people that look like a complete ruin when we acquired it in 2008.
In the
early 2008.
Okay, but what has been the biggest challenge in this whole process and renovation of this manor and also opening up to the public? What has been the biggest challenge?
One of the challenges has been that it's quite big, the estate. I mean, we have 2 main houses, then we have 13 other historical buildings and structures. So the whole scale of it, I mean, we have 15,000 square meters on the roof. So the whole scale of it is what's called the first challenge, because it requires and the whole thing was a ruin, so it requires a big investment to bring it into the condition which it is now. The other thing I would say is that how big challenges, I mean, how do you preserve cultural heritage at the same time you make the property modern and relevant for modern travelers? And we find out that the key to it is in reality, I mean, to preserve the concept of an old Baltic German manor. An old German Baltic manor is one economical unit with a lot of houses and a lot of functions, which all contribute, I mean, to the estate itself. So we decided that we were going to do this in a modern way. And I remember after we opened Vihula in 2008, we were sitting down together with Kjølby and together with other people with a big map showing all the buildings in Vihula. And then we started to discuss, I mean, the main house, we will keep the old function. It will be the reception area, it will be the dining area, it will be where the big kitchen is, it will be where the wine cellar is, like it was in the good old days. But with all the other buildings, I mean, we changed the functionality. The carriage house became the Ökospa, the barn house became the conference center, many of the houses became accommodation places, the windmill, or the water mill became a museum and cafe, etc. And the idea was that, I mean, renovate the estate house by house, change the functionality, and then make all these new functionality work together as one, as a hotel, as a country club, as a conference facility.
And I think I just help you remember, it's also very important. Of course I love Riga, Latvia, it's my favorite, but in professional scale, in Estonia you have more possibility with the staff, with human resource. And of course we have the best team. I see today Tarmo, a long time don't see you, it's our manager director for one time, and Heiko as well. And we can't find like this style and professional person in time in Riga, in this time in Riga. It's also very, very help us. And in Rakvere they have special school for treatment, many things around this area very help us. And people who stay around or live in this place, they love this place, It's really, really like hard. When we coming first time, I remember how clean table and they make cookies, everything, like at home. And staff all this time, it's amazing. It's reason why we started. and real rest. For the hotel as well, it's very developed.
Thank you, Olita. But I have one more question for you. Tell us about the design of the hotel.
Oh,
Why is it different manner than many other manors in Estonia?
yeah, it's something helped me because I like to travel a lot. Of course, before we start this project, I see many manor houses in Latvia, in Estonia, and many of them are too old, and people make renovation like museum, like 18th, 19th century, you know, too much dark, too much many things like in old museum. And at the same time, I travel in Denmark. In Denmark, all the people like light, everything, you know, more emotional. And design, I love designer. Arne Jacobsen, Van Olufsen, everything in Denmark. And we discussed with Henrik, just make campaign together with Danish design and minimalism and something historical point, yeah. Because the best solution is put something nice, a hotel in Lachema Park. It's amazing.
If I can just add that because it is a combination, everything where there was something historical which we could preserve, like floorboards, fireplaces, ceilings, etc. I mean, we steep staircases, etc. We kept these things, but when there was nothing to preserve, I mean, then we made what's called a minimalist design of it, and Olita did a great job herself and did the design, but we also had some of the designers who also did a great job, because I mean, when you're doing a thing like this, you know, you're combining something which is very old with something which is very modern. It's a very delicate procedure, you know, and you have to take very much care that the things are in balance with each other, that you don't get kitschy and stuff like this. And I think that in reality, I think this also what I hear from our guests, that one of the things that people like about Vihula is that people, they are people that they feel that we are staying at the historical place, but at the same time, I mean, people of course, I mean, want all the modern things, they want modern design, and they want all the modern devices, so we have created what's called the creative combination of these things.
So Henrik, what is Vihula Mõis today? Is it a hotel, museum, concert place, conference place? What is it?
I mean, it's of course first of all a hotel. I mean, this is the main business which we have there in the conference place, in what's called the event place. But what's called this. So Vihula Mõis is a hotel in this district, but the story about Vihula Mõis is basically not a story about the hotel or a story about the conference center or what's called the venue. And this is what we have tried also to explain in this book, that of course it has something to do with what's called tourism, but the story is reaching much more further than tourism. It's about something else in reality.
So about, about the book now. So why did you write this book, and for whom is this book meant?
There's issued a lot of books in Estonia about manners, and generally, I mean, these books are historical books. I mean, which go very much into detail with the history of the manor. And it's certainly very interesting. I've read some of them, some of them have been translated into English and other languages. So I also always read them in these books with great interest. But Olita and I thought that there might also be interest for another type of book about the manners, because this here is also about the history. But I mean, Olita and I are not historians. I mean, we are sort of amateur historians. We tried, I mean, we were interested in this story, we tried to research it, but what's called this book is not so much about what's called the history of Vihula, but it's more our personal story about, I mean, what we were thinking, I mean, in this whole process of acquiring Vihula and renovating it and starting to operate it. And Lis Kjølby have told me that it's the first book in Estonia where the owners who have been standing in the middle of the whole thing have told what's called their own story about this thing. But when we started, I mean, to renovate the whole thing, then we got quite interested in the story itself. I mean, because we can trace it so many years back in time as we do.
Yeah, and at the same time, for me, it's very help between us, because I'm so energetic and young girl, and I needed some hobbies where I spend time. And for during this pandemic time, has Henrik writing, and all the weekend invite me to cafe and say, oh, but listen me carefully, you know what I write, and I said, yes, 15 minutes and then go cup of coffee or drink of wine. But he, during this time, so happy. But seriously, it's also very good connect everything, and especially together with our staff, with our team, and for professional, for young generation who start working now at company, travel business, in other business, we have restaurant, we have many things in other business. They're very helpful, understand it. What doing during the time if people have, hardly work, they have money, what do after that? For us, it's more interesting something who help people and who we understand and who help new generation in our company. And I like it because my husband a little bit older, but very, very active. It helped me, yeah.
I still go back to the book for a second, because there is something interesting in this book. There are chapters where the authors are telling about the history and how the development of the place was, and in between there are huge chapters with stories, legends. So, Henrik, where did you get these legends and stories from?
I got them from Vihula itself. We have a very creative event, and Vihula often, sometimes when she was showing people around on the estate, I mean, then I was listening to what she was telling the guests, you know, and her name is Dina. And she always was telling some legends, which I think is something which Dina have heard from the generations we were at Vihula before she came there. So these are stories which has lived over the decades. I mean, all manners have ghosts, and all manners have some legends. And we decided, I mean, to put these legends into the book also. Most of them are something which I've heard, a couple of them are something which we invented ourselves. But I think these legends are just as much a part of the history of Vihula as the historical facts are. It is the soul of the estate which are told through these legends.
And now I have two last questions. First of all, what is the future of Vihula Manor?
I think the future is very much what you see today. We have just we started an renovation of some of the last buildings which are still not very renovated, and some of it will be renovated this year, some of it will be renovated next year. And I think when we have renovated the last houses, I mean, then we will still, I mean, be looking into how can we refine the buildings, how can we refine the service. But if you were in Vihula 2014 and then came back now, then you will see a very big difference between how it was at that time and how it is now. If you come back in 2034, I don't think that you will see a big difference, not in the buildings and the way it's been built up. Hopefully there will be a big, there will be a difference in the service. The service will be, it's already quite good, and the management, the general manager Heiko, who is sitting there, is together with Mrs. Steve doing a very good job. But we want to refine them in the buildings and the service, what's called more, so Vihula is what you see today, let's say 10%.
Okay, thank you. And now I have a personal question for both of you. how often are you in Vihula Manor, and what are you actually doing there?
For me, it's too much. I visit, I think, twice a year, but has Henrik much more. But he planning leave when she's go in pension, yeah, and I visit you, Henrik. I promised you.
And you, Henrik?
As Olita told, I mean, I've been up very many times at what's called the Vihula, but nowadays when we go there, we often go there together with friends or with relatives. We're basically doing the same as everybody else is doing at Vihula. We're walking around in the nature, enjoying the nature. We enjoy the cultural heritage. I mean, we of course go for a nice dinner at the restaurant. Olita always one of the best clients of the spa. So we are enjoying it. I mean, like other visitors are what's called doing. And
but we have very open contact with the staff, with management. It's our colleagues, not like visitors. Yeah, we are colleagues, and we
this is also
involved for everything.
Also a very important point, because I mean, in all this, what's called we should not forget, you know, a manor is not just correction. I mean, it's very much I mean, the software, the human resources which are working there with the science, it's creating the place. So it's also something which we have seen, I mean, to develop over the year. I mean, the service, of course, I mean, is much more better than it was 10 years ago. The operation has been more mature, the people have been better trained for what they're doing. And this, of course, has been a long process, because I mean, we talk about what's called the people, we talk about human resources. It's very easy to build a building within half a year, but to change the way people are thinking, the way they are connecting with other people, I mean, this takes years and years and years, and we are, like all hotels have been still in this process, and certainly, like all hotels also, people have been room for improvement, but we are quite happy where we are today.
So, do you have any final things, final thoughts to tell to the audience coming here?
No, I will just, I think probably most people here have been at what's called Vihula. But I will just, I mean, thank everybody that you're always welcome, take your friends with you, I mean, enjoy what's called the thing. I mean, there is a lot to see also in the Vihula National Park, as you know, and it's also one of the big advantages of Vihula that, first of all, I mean, we have so many facilities ourselves, but we also have a couple of other manors. We have a lot of very unspoiled or untouched nature, you know, and people come today, I think they are enjoying a bit of the whole thing. They're sitting in the restaurant or having a fine dinner, and next day they go to Sakati or to Palse, or they travel up to Vindestue to see the art museum or explore the Vihula National Park.
Thank you. Thank you for both of you, and thank you for writing this book. Now if anybody has questions from the audience. Yes.
I don't. My name is Jens. I'm Danish, like Henrik, and just a few comments. Thank you very much for the book. Thank you very much for the book. I'm Danish myself. I've been here 25 years. I visited your place for many years ago, before you acquired it, so I can remember how it looked like. I was looking around. I was not in position to buy it at that time. I happened to got married in Vihula Mõis when it was still open for marriages, and we could book the place. I enjoyed the area a lot. I happened to also try it and done renovations of all the houses, and I can see a parallel a little bit, not the same scale as you've been doing, but renovating old houses, and the fact that you've written a book now, I wouldn't compare it to myself, yeah, but I don't have these places myself any longer, but I made a huge photo book and probably 15,000 photos during the renovation of the places I had, and my soul is still there, and my heart is still there, and what I was missing, and that's the reason why I made my own photo book, a little bit similar to this one, was to have my own documentation and satisfaction. Because one thing I missed out a little bit was that I didn't have the opportunity to show the place to friends and family and so on. At least you still have the place and you can show it around and enjoy the place. I really enjoy your book and your story, and I appreciate you're still around with it. I know you don't have so much time to go there. I have one question though, that is that I know you're busy with other projects, and we were mainly in Latvia, but we also told Henrik, is that what do you enjoy the most? Now I know it's a balanced answer you have to come up with. The renovation process and the findings during the renovation, or the place afterwards as a commercial spa, hotel, country house, or is it both? Or how do you? I'm looking a little bit for the heart here. I know you have it at the place. Thank you very much.
I think that Olita and I mean, first of all, the inspector I don't understand how we could have been 25 years in Estonia and we have never met before, but I was very happy to meet you today. I think that Olita and I are in a certain sense, I mean, both sort of pioneers. I mean, we like to do things, sometimes being the first doing things, and we like to see things, what's called more. And if I have to be very honest, then I actually think it was funnier to visit Vihula in 2010 and 2012, you know, when the whole thing looked like a big building site, you know, and buildings were half completed, you know, and I see that Martha, I mean, who was from Restore, who was our great partner for many years, and Restore did a very great job, I mean, in renovating the whole first part of renovating the first part of Vihula. And I always thought that it's very interesting when we go there, because there always was a lot of things to what's called discuss. And it's a bit like, I mean, when I started to live in Latvia, it was the most interesting place in the whole world, because everything was so different and turned upside down from Copenhagen, but I felt very much alive, you know. And now, I mean, in Estonia and Latvia, I mean, sometimes I think that it's simply too boring here. I mean, it's too much the same as everywhere else, and it's a bit the same with the Vihula also. I still enjoy to go there, but it's certainly not, I mean, with the what's called blood rolling like it was back when we started this whole movie.
Thank you. This was a very nice question, actually. Thank you. Any other questions?
Do you have a ghost?
Yeah, we have a ghost in the back manor. Which we have also, what's called, we have made a story, one of the legends about this ghost which are living in the back manor, and it's a real ghost. I mean, some of the people which I know have been staying there, they have told me that you can really feel this ghost at night. So when you are at Vihula, you have to take care where they're going to accommodate you. I mean, if you are in the back manor, then you need to be sure that your nerves are strong enough to survive at night.
Yeah, there is only one story here. The ghost story is written down in the book, so you can find out more about it. Any other questions? All right.
Are you missing to make a similar project when it comes to renovations and this feeling at that time? Are you missing this kind of projects instead of new ventures or building new buildings or taking overs?
I don't know, I mean, what's called, I was 15 years or 16 years younger when we started this year, and I mean, it has been great fun. It's given us very much inspiration and also very much pleasure, but it has also, I mean, been a very uphill struggle, I mean, in what's called in times. I mean, when we started this year, it was at the same time the financial crisis of 2008 hit us, so I remember Olita and I mean, we were going to make a decision over Christmas and New Year 2008, 2009. The bank have told to us that they will give us money to make a big investment there. And we were discussing or worrying about, I mean, do we really, in this very difficult situation, which also had a big negative influence on tourism, I mean, do we take this money from the bank, not knowing, I mean, how long this crisis, what's called, would be. We have had a lot of problems when we sorted out the building, because they were really ruins, and you more or less, I mean, had to start from what's called scratch. And of course, when you start, I mean, to do something from scratch, I mean, then there are all sorts of unexpected buildings. Then what's called the plumbing is not the plumbing is not working or not existing, etc. So I mean, it has really taken a lot of taking a lot of time, and I'm very happy we did it, but I'm not so happy. I don't think my energy will endure a project for the next 15 years. There are still some things we would like to do, but also we are not finalizing people. I mean, we also have some properties in where we also need to do some things. So at the moment, I think we have enough to do as it is.
And I think for us it's very important if we're talking about our hotel business in Tallinn as well. Yeah, we have 3 hotels. Just take it standard, you know, because it's also taking time for this period. Yeah, Vihula is different project, and we renovated, but we need spend a lot of time with the human resource, with standard, with everything, and you know, for us, really it helps us because we are friends, first of all friends, and after that we are partners of the business. And I am so managed what needed or don't need it, but in the same time we spent a lot of time with the staff, and we need a little bit break for ourselves. I like it because all our project, it's our hobby as well. It's very interesting, and I like it live with intelligent Danish person who have hobby, who like it work 24 hours and sleeping only 4 or 5 hours. And I need it. He lives not not less like 100 years.
Thank you. This was a very nice ending. So thank you for the book, and live longer, 100 years. Let's do something new. And thank you, everybody, for coming here. Let's continue our discussions over the glass of wine that is waiting for you. And of course, then there will be also a book signing. So if you would like to have that, the authors would write you something nice in your book. Please grab a book, get it signed, and then when you leave, then you can pay somewhere there. But first of all, thank you.
Ma praegu vaatasin toidukaupma pealt ei vaadanud, aga seal kaubamaja ma arvan, et siis on seal kõige parem välis. Ma küll ei 2 aastat tagasi peavad need raamatud ostma. Ikka nähes, kui selle keegi sisse kirjutab, siis jaa.
Aga sa lased sisse kirjutada, mul on see raamatu kodus, mul on nii kahju.
Kaasa,
oleks hea võimalus.
Jah, siin ikka jah.
Estonias eile toimima mitu selle muusikaga algas siuke
ma nägin telekas sellest katkendus ja siin oli
laua peal, aga ma vaatasin, et see oli
oota, kas see oli see Laine Vänaviisa, vaid nende ma veetin, ei olnud liiga tõsine, see oli natuke raske, ma räägin ja ma kuulasin just mõlema osatäit ja just kuulasin. Jah. See oli arvus. Ja. Ja ma kuulasin.